call to order. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. This is a remote meeting with all members participating remotely. And I'd like to start with a roll call. Joe Marshall here.
Joan Maderas here.
Ann Keen here.
Those are the members that are present. Also participating are Sarah Page, John Coughlin, our counsel, and Ken Fiola, Administrative Services Consultant. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the warrants. Sarah did send everyone the warrants. Is there any discussion or a vote to approve? Anyone?
Motion to approve the warrant as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Could you also state your name when you vote, please, Joan?
Oh, Joan Maderas. Motion to approve the warrant as presented.
Okay. And Ann, could you do the same?
Yep, Ann Keen second.
Okay. All in favor, Joe Marshall, aye.
Joan Maderas, aye.
Ann Keen, aye.
Okay. Okay, so approved. Next item is to approve a change order number 4 for $46,766.74 regarding the city pier project. And we all have a copy of that change order. Is there any, oh, Sarah, could you highlight the purpose of the order for the audience?
Sure. So this change order incorporates a number of items that really were required because of unexpected conditions at the site or the requirements that were unexpected by National Grid. And so it includes bollards that were required around the transformer pad that were significantly more than anyone expected them to require. They tested the water system, found some that had been put in prior to this work and found a couple of leaks. And so there was repair and testing. Then they had to change loam providers, and the vendor all of a sudden said they couldn't provide the loam. So that meant the loam had to be retested, and we got a credit for that.
Okay.
And because we were billed for it, and then we got a credit. They had to remove sidewalk that existed on the walkway that was much thicker than ever anticipated. And when they joined the boardwalk to our walkway at City Pier, there was quite a hole that really needed to be filled in. And it was a danger and a concern. So those were all just necessary changes that were made.
Right, and we did receive a memo to that effect
Yes.
in our board package. Is there any board members, any discussion or even comments on the change order?
It's Joan, I have none. I think that they did a good job of outlining what occurred here.
Good, good. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the change order, and so Sarah can take care of that.
There is a motion to approve the change order as proposed.
Is there a second?
Second by Ann Keen.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Joe Marshall, aye.
Joan Maderis, aye.
Ann Keen, aye.
Okay, so moved. Thank you. Next item, to discuss executing the Mass DOT right of entry form regarding 79.
So we've talked about this a number of times.
Right,
And
yeah, we have.
it required significant work, which Mass DOT had really underestimated. Eventually, we got trans systems involved because as they really looked at it, and we're very glad we had Beta really look into it, some of the curbing and where we were putting the crosswalk across the driveway we created has to be taken apart and redone because we want people to move from our walkway onto the pedestrian walkway
Correct.
that is being created by Route 79. And so plans were revised. John and I had the engineer at Beta really describe what needs to be paid attention to, looking at the plans that Mass DOT has and the original plans and the plans that we've provided that show all the changes that need to be made. So
Now,
we
Sarah,
Yeah.
when you refer to John, you mean John Coughlin, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, John Coughlin.
Okay,
So he and I made sure that this all ties together and is more detailed than Mass DOT would have typically expected. And so we're confident that this addresses our needs.
okay. So what you're looking for, what we're looking for is a vote to authorize me as chair to execute the Mass DOT right of entry document that's been prepared that authorizes Route 79, the Route 79 contractor to enter the city pier property and make changes at the entry drive as detailed in the exhibit that was attached to our package, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Members of the board, is there someone who would make that motion?
Joan Maderis, a motion for the board chair to enter into the agreement with Mass DOT as proposed.
Okay, is there a second?
Second by Ann Keen.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by voting aye. Joe Marshall, aye.
Joan Maderis, aye.
Ann Keen, aye.
Okay, so moved. So you'll take care of that, John Coughlin and Sarah Page?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next item, to discuss a proposal from Beta for design of a dock system at City Pier. Just an aside, I mentioned it to you, Sarah, that a individual who has sent a couple of open meeting law violations. This is good news, though. Open meeting law violation was down at the city pier, went by the city pier, and took it upon himself to give me a call and praise us for the work that's being done. So that's a feather. Everybody that's on this call had something to do with that. So it's always good to get those good calls. And I think that was the impression he was trying to make too. So anyway, going on, I digress. To discuss a proposal from Beta for the design of a dock system at City Pier. You want to just briefly give us a summary on that, even though we do know about it, but publicly?
Yes, so this includes the design services helping us. So we're basically putting a dock system on the North Pier. Funding has
Right.
been provided and we're applying for more funding. The goal is to get the piles in by the end of December before a time of year restriction is imposed because of the spawning of fish in the river. And then in the spring, we would add the docks to the piles. And this proposal is to do the design, to do some surveying, and then to put it out to bid, help us choose the low bidder presumably, and it's a total of 61,000. They would then provide us another estimate to actually supervise the construction. So this would get us through December, basically.
So you would suggest that, that we, the board, authorize myself, the chair, to execute an amendment to our existing beta contract for design and bidding for a dock system on the north side of the city pier, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Joan or Ann, any discussion?
I have no comments.
Ann? Well, I'll entertain a motion. If
Okay.
that's the case, authorizing me to execute the amendment to our existing beta contract.
Yep, Joan Maderis, motion to approve for the board chair to enter into an amendment with Beta for the docking system at City Pier.
Thank you. Is there a second? We may have lost Ann.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Second from Ann Keen.
Oh, we found her. Okay, good. Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye. Joe Marshall, aye.
Joan Maderis, aye.
Ann Keen, aye.
Okay, so moved. Thank you. Number 6 is to discuss a proposal from a consultant regarding the historic district. But do we have anything on that at all, Sarah?
I sent you a few pages
Yeah.
of the person's proposal.
Yeah,
Ken and I interviewed him. We feel as though we should connect with Ann and make sure our committee is in agreement after I check all of his references and bring it to the August 24th board meeting. Does that sound right to you, Ann?
Yes, that's fine.
Ken, do you have any comment on that? I mean, you've discussed it with Sarah.
No, I think we were hoping that we'd get more than one bid.
Okay,
Because of the specificity of the bid, and quite frankly, not that many people out there that do this sort of stuff. Limit the amount of people that would actually be submitting a proposal. So, you know, we have not looked at least I have not looked at the cost proposal as of yet.
okay,
However, you know, based upon the interview that Sarah and I had with him, he seems to be a competent individual and someone that's you know, going to be committed to the project. So at least from that perspective, I'm comfortable.
great. All right, well, thank you for your input. The next item is going to be a request to go into executive session. I make the finding that an open session would have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body. Roll call vote to enter into executive session for the below item on the agenda and to return to open session. So I'll entertain a roll call vote to go into executive session.
And Joe, I would just read the item on the agenda so that everybody.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, one item is to discuss real estate transactions on Innovation Way, Fall River / Freetown, Massachusetts.
Do you want the detail?
No, I think we
No,
just need
that's
a
all.
Okay.
roll call vote to go in and to
Yeah.
return to open session.
That's correct.
So we need a motion?
Yes, please.
Okay, Joan Maderis, a motion to enter into executive session and to return to open session to discuss the real estate transaction at Innovation Way / Freetown, Massachusetts.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second by Ann Keen.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Joe Marshall, aye.
Joan Maderis, aye.
Ann Keen, aye.
Okay, so moved. We will now go into executive session. Let's do a roll call coming back into open session. Joe Marshall here,
Joan Maderis here.
Ann Keen here.
okay, and Sarah, why don't you announce your attendance?
Yes, Sarah Page here.
Okay, John and Ken?
Yes, Ken Viola?
Yep. John Coughlin.
Okay, good. All right. We're back in open session. We've got two items that require a vote. After discussion, I'd be entertaining a motion to authorize me as chair to execute an amendment to the land disposition agreement with Vitus Management and Development. Is there a motion to have me do that?
Joan Maderis, a motion for the board chair to enter into an amended land disposition agreement with Vitus Management and Development Company.
Okay, is there a second?
Second by Ann Keen.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Joe Marshall, aye.
Joan Maderis, aye.
Ann Keen, aye.
Okay, so moved. Thank you. One other item, vote to authorize myself as chair to execute any and all documents in order to grant a conservation restriction on the buffer area on Innovation Way. Is there a motion to do that or allow
Yeah.
that?
Joan Maderis, a motion for the board chair to enter into to sign a conservation restriction on the buffer area at Innovation Way, Fall River / Freetown, Massachusetts.
Thank you. Is there a second to Joan Maderis's motion?
Second by Ann Keen.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Joe Marshall, aye.
Joan Maderis, aye.
Ann Keen, aye.
Okay, so moved. Last item on the agenda is a roll call vote to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn or is there any other discussion necessary?
Joan Maderis, a motion to adjourn.
Second by
Ann Keen,
anyone?
second.
Okay, all in favor of the motion to adjourn signify by saying aye. Joe Marshall, aye.
Joan Maderis, aye.
Ann Keen, aye.
Okay, so moved. Thank you. See you later on in the month for our next meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
now.